Today on No BS AI Briefing, General Compute just launched a custom chip to challenge the GPU monopoly for AI inference. Meta is cutting 10% of its workforce to pay for its AI bills, and we'll talk about what actually matters if you're building products in this incredibly expensive new world. No BS AI Briefing, brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back, I'm your host Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Let's get right into the headlines. First up, General Compute has launched an ASIC-first inference cloud specifically for AI agents. Now, in plain English, this means a company is building a cloud service that doesn't use standard GPUs, those chips everyone is fighting over. Instead, they're using custom built chips called ASICs designed to do one thing really well: run AI models that are already trained. They're specifically separating the prefill and decode stages, which is a technical way of saying they're optimizing for the unique patterns of agent workloads, which often involve long contexts and lots of back and forth. For builders, this is a huge signal. The potential for relief from GPU scarcity and sky-high inference costs is real. It's a direct challenge to the GPU-centric world we've been living in, and it means you might need to reassess your deployment strategy sooner than you think. If they deliver on their promise, the lower costs and lower latency could unlock a whole new category of real-time agent use cases that are just too expensive to even consider right now. Next up, in a move that shows just how real those costs are, Meta plans a 10% workforce reduction. That's about 8,000 positions, with cuts starting in May. And they're not hiding the reason. The layoffs are explicitly linked to offsetting the rising costs of their AI infrastructure. I mean, think about that. Meta, a company with near infinite resources, is making massive headcount decisions because of its AI compute bill. This just underscores their massive commitment to building proprietary AI, but it's a stark reminder for the rest of us. Infrastructure costs are driving board-level decisions, even at the biggest of big tech. What does this mean for you? Well, two things. First, you should expect a ripple effect in the talent market. A lot of very experienced AI and ML engineers might be looking for their next role, which could be a huge opportunity for startups. And second, it's a wake-up call. You absolutely have to prioritize cost-efficient inference and model selection in your product roadmap. It's not just a technical detail anymore, it's a core business strategy. Also this week, a great story about AI in the real physical world. Chef Robotics has officially reached 100 million servings milestone. This isn't a software company. They build robotic systems for food manufacturing using deep learning and computer vision to automate high-volume tasks like portioning out ingredients. And here's the key part. They leverage what they call a production data flywheel. Every meal their robots prepare generates data that helps the system get better, more reliable, and more efficient. For builders, especially those working outside of pure software, this is a fantastic case study. It demonstrates physical AI operating at scale in messy, unstructured environments, not just a clean room demo. That data flywheel is a pattern you can and should copy. The more your product is used in the real world, the better it should get. It's proof that a clear ROI in manufacturing can drive serious industrial AI adoption. It's happening. And speaking of a more global view, the government of India has established the AI Governance and Economic Group, or AIGEG. This new body, chaired by the IT minister, has a clear mandate: classify different AI use cases, figure out the impact on the labor market, and deliver a roadmap for the next decade. This is a big deal for anyone building for or in the Indian market. It signals that the government is trying to get ahead of the curve, positioning India to proactively shape AI regulation and growth. What's the builder takeaway? Expect new compliance and classification rules to emerge. You'll likely have to categorize what your AI does, but the framing here is important. This seems to be governance with an economic lens, not just a reactive, restrictive one. It's about enabling growth while managing risk. So keep a close eye on any guidance that comes out of this group, especially around labor policies and data localization rules. And finally, Arise Alpha has launched an AI stock trading bot for retail investors. This isn't just a signal or an alert system. The tool integrates market analysis with automated trade execution. It's designed to automate the constant monitoring and decision making that overwhelms most retail traders. It's a really concrete example of an agentic application in finance. For builders, this shows there's real retail demand for AI driven financial automation. It proves that agents can operate right now in real time, high stakes environments where mistakes have immediate financial consequences. If you're a fintech builder, this should get you thinking, how can you use agent based systems to create real differentiation and value in your own products? The race is on. So, lots of movement on the infrastructure, cost, policy, and application fronts. But I think the most important story here, the one that could change the fundamental economics for everyone building AI products, is General Compute's new inference cloud. Let's do a deep dive on that. The big story today is General Compute and their ASIC-first inference cloud. Now, on the surface, it sounds like just another infrastructure provider, but it's not. This is a shot across the bow of the entire GPU-dominated ecosystem, and it could fundamentally change the unit economics of running AI agents in production. So what actually happened? General Compute announced a new cloud platform built for inference. That's the running part of AI, not the training part. And critically, they're not using NVIDIA GPUs. They're using their own custom designed ASICs, which are chips built for one specific purpose. In this case, running large language models efficiently. They're also architecting their system to handle agent specific workloads better by separating the initial processing of a prompt, the prefill, from the token by token generation that follows, the decode. So, why does this matter right now? Because for the last 2 years, the entire industry has been constrained by two things: GPU scarcity and the crushing cost of inference. We've all been trying to run our applications on chips that were primarily designed for training, which has different requirements. It's like using a giant gas guzzling excavator to do the delicate work of a garden spade. It works, but it's wildly inefficient and expensive. General Compute is basically saying, let's build the perfect spade. If they succeed, it could break the logjam. So, who should really be paying attention to this? First, founders and product managers. Your entire cost of goods sold, your COGS for any AI feature is dominated by inference. If that cost drops by 50, 70, or even 90%, what does that do to your pricing? What does it do to your product roadmap? Features you dismissed as too expensive might suddenly become your key differentiator. Always on, proactive agents that monitor systems or support users in real time could become not just possible but profitable. Second, infrastructure engineers and engineering leaders. Your job might be about to get more complicated, but in a good way. For years, the default answer has been throw another A100 at it. Now, you might have a choice. Does this workload run better on a GPU or an ASIC? This introduces a new layer of optimization that could save your company millions. The infra layer is fragmenting, and that's good for buyers. It creates price pressure and spurs innovation. And finally, indie hackers and small teams. This could be the most exciting for you. Right now, running a sophisticated multi-step agent can be prohibitively expensive for a side project. A service like this, if priced correctly, could democratize access to high performance inference. It could mean your weekend project can actually compete on performance with a venture backed startup. So, how would I think about this as a builder? I'd use an analogy. Think of a general purpose GPU like a high end powerful pickup truck. It can do almost anything. It can haul lumber, tow a boat, drive your family around. It's versatile. An ASIC, on the other hand, is like a Formula One race car. It does exactly one thing: go around a track as fast as humanly possible. You can't haul lumber in it, it's useless for a family trip. But on the racetrack, its specific domain, nothing on earth can beat it. For a long time, we've been using pickup trucks for a Formula One race. General Compute is offering to sell us a race car. The trade off is flexibility for raw performance and efficiency on a specific task. And right now, that task, inference, is the biggest bottleneck we have. Now, for my no BS take, let's call out the hype. General Compute is a new vendor. Their platform is unproven at scale. We haven't seen public benchmarks or Most importantly, the pricing. It's easy to make promises. The hard part is delivering reliable, cost effective service at scale. So don't go betting your company on them tomorrow. But this is a massive signal of where the market is headed. The dominance of general purpose GPUs for all AI workloads is not sustainable. Specialized hardware is the future of efficient AI. So get this on your radar, sign up for their early access if you can, and start planning for a world where you have more than one choice for your inference stack. If you're finding this useful, hit follow in your podcast app right now. It takes 2 seconds and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next briefing. Alright, if you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, something you can do this week to prepare for this changing landscape, here it is. Audit your current or projected AI inference costs and then ask your team one critical question. Here's how to try it in under an hour. First, pull the real numbers. Go into your cloud provider's dashboard, AWS, GCP, whatever, or open up your billing history from OpenAI, Anthropic, or Mistral. Isolate every line item related to model inference. Don't guess. Get the actual dollar amount you spent last month. Second, don't just look at that monthly number. Annualize it, multiply it by 12, and then project it forward based on your user growth targets for the next year. If you plan to 10x your user base, 10x that annual cost. This is the crucial step. It turns an abstract monthly bill into a terrifying board level number. It makes the problem real. Third, and here's the creative part, take that big, scary annual number and cut it in half. Now, go to your product and engineering teams and pose this question. If our annual inference budget was this new lower number, what would we build? What currently impossible product features? What real time, always on agent workflows could we finally ship? Why is this specific experiment so valuable? Because it flips the conversation. It moves your team's thinking from a mindset of scarcity, how can we possibly afford this, to a mindset of opportunity. What new value can we create as this core cost inevitably falls? It forces you to imagine the product you'd build in the world that companies like General Compute are trying to create. And that preparation, that forward looking roadmap, is what will separate the winners from the companies who get left behind, buried under their own GPU bills. Try it. The conversation alone will be worth the effort. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.